Hello and welcome to Candidates on the Clock, sponsored by the Newton County Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Lanier Sims. I'm joined today by Incumbent Damon Mason, that is running for Newton County Board of Commissioners District 2. Mr. Mason, can you take a couple minutes and tell the citizens a little bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration. I have an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism because of the work that I've done over the past 3 years as a county commissioner. I'm also the vice chair of the Community Economic and Workforce Development Steering Committee by or through the National Association of Counties. I'm also the chairman of the Newton County Board of Commissioners Public Facilities Authority. I served back in 2020 as the vice chair of the Newton County Board of Commissioners. I'm also the former parliamentarian of the Newton County Democratic Party, former chairman of the board of directors at Destined for Greatness Outreach Youth Center Incorporated, also the former vice president of education for Coca-Cola Company chapter of Toastmasters International, as well as I sit on the board of directors for Newton Mentoring Inc. And so that's a little bit about myself.
Okay, thank you. As you're aware, we had citizens to submit questions, not only about the county, but also about your district. So we're just going to jump into a couple of those questions. The first question is, with the current fighting within the Board of Commissioners, how do you plan to promote One Newton?
That's a very good question. The way that I plan to promote One Newton is really to be able to address every single concern from a very positive and professional perspective. Do my research and just let the residents know that I'm here to always assist them in whatever matter it is, whenever it's interaction within the Board of Commissioners. Always be respectful, always be professional, never attack any of them, never degrade any of them, never to put any of them down, but to reassure them that we are One Newton, we are one team, and that we can truly work together to really excel and take Newton County to the next level. And so I believe just always being respectful, professional, having a level of integrity, being visible amongst each other, and even having those conversations when we need to, and even put any type of oughts to the side, and being able to come together and work together so that we can make it One Newton.
Okay, thank you. Our next question, there seems to be more focus on personal district agendas rather than promoting the good of the entire county. How do you plan to work towards benefiting all the citizens of Newton County, not just your supporters or folks in your district?
Well, I'm a firm believer that we have to actually do it simultaneously. So as we are working to help the residents, or as I'm working to help the residents in District 2, I also have to look at the entire county as a whole, as a unit, to say, what do we need all across the board? What do we need in Districts 1, Districts 3, Districts 4, Districts 5, as well as District 2? So simultaneously, I'm working to help meet the desires and the needs and the issues in District 2, as well as those certain things that are coming across the board from other areas, being able to give my innovative ideas, being able to give my ways to be able to help resolve those issues. And so I think that's how I can really put together a plan to just look at the whole county as a whole and work simultaneously focusing on that.
Okay, thank you. Our next question, what would be your top 3 projects for the 2023 SPLOST?
Well, I would say the top 3 projects for the 2023 SPLOST would be one, definitely looking at building the multi-generational recreation aquatic center at Denny Dobbs Park. So would love to actually focus on that. I do know some of my other commissioners, they do have some projects in their areas that they would like to have as well. So really focusing on youth facility on the west side, really focusing on the Spring Hill Park in District 5 as well. And so really focusing on those three because I think they're top priorities right now. And it is, of course, a part of our strategic plan when it comes to a quality of life. So really focusing on that project, that multi-generational recreation aquatic facility, focusing on the West Side Youth Facility and focusing on the Spring Hill Park, I think will be great things that we can move forward and help change the quality of life in our community.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is, it's a two-part question, and I'll go ahead and read out both parts. How should we prioritize and fund road improvements that need to be addressed throughout our county? And the second part is, what are your top 3 road and infrastructure projects for the next 4 years?
Well, I'm sure there are several ways that we can actually look at about funding. Of course, if we have any SPLOST dollars that we can maybe utilize to help funding, we can also create and establish a partnership with Georgia Department of Transportation, where if they're wanting to help invest into our community to help us with our road infrastructure, that's a great way as well. I am truly focused on when I ran back in 2018, I supported the widening of Salem Road. And so I'm excited to say that Georgia Department of Transportation has partnered with us, and we're going to be expanding that road starting the summer of 2023. We've also been in discussion of widening Brown Bridge Road, even adding a roundabout there to kind of help eliminate traffic concerns and even eliminate wrecks. I've been in discussion as well about widening Highway 212 because we're looking at really developing that 212 area near Denny Dobbs Park. We're looking at developing that, so we really want to focus on that. So I think those would be the roads that I would focus on over the next 4 years.
Okay, thank you. As you're aware, each district was provided about $1 million of ARPA funds to use in each district. Please provide any details on what you would do with the $1 million that's allocated.
Well, what I would like to do with that $1 million is really whatever the citizens' needs in Districts 2 are, whether it is mortgage assistance, whether it is rental assistance, whether it is utility assistance, whether it's to help the 501c3s kind of help recover and regain from the pandemic, really being able to invest those dollars into those small businesses and those residents that really need that help because of the suffrage that they incurred during the pandemic. So I would really love to take those funds and help those individuals that truly need it from those areas of perspective to really help grow and thrive in District 2.
Okay, thank you. Next question is also a two-part. With the development moratorium that has been in place for months, it's probably closer to a year, if not over a little bit. What do you believe is the problem? How will you solve it moving forward? I'll let you answer that, and then we'll go into the second part.
Well, what I've seen is the potential problem is that we haven't really looked at the entire county as a whole and said, well, how do we really want to develop the entire county? I think in the past, the previous boards made some decisions that they wanted to have a certain amount of acreage on one part and didn't make that equivalent on the other side of the county. And so now we see that our county is kind of unevenly balanced. You have more rural on the eastern side, you have more urban on the western side. And so I believe that if we can really sit down and look at the entire county as a whole and decide where do we want the rural to be? Where do we want the urban to be? What do we want the minimum acreage to be all throughout the county so that we can strategically develop our county from an economic perspective where it balances residential and commercial, and it's a great place for both parts of the county. So I think just focusing on that would be great.
Okay, I think you probably answered most of the second part, but the second part is growth is obviously coming to these districts and Newton County as a whole. Could you explain to the citizens your plan for healthy residential growth that supports our commercial and retail needs but protects us from uncontrolled sprawl?
Yes, it is definitely inevitable that our community is growing. We have a lot of people that are coming here. It's growing by leaps and bounds. And so what I really want to do is really look at our planning, look at our zoning, and look at our future land use map to say, okay, what does our future land use map look like? Is, that something that we should continue to move forward in? Is there changes that we need to make? I believe that really looking at zoning is imperative to help decide how we move in the future when it comes to developing our community from a residential and a commercial and even an industrial perspective. Where do we want the residential homes? Where do we want the retail? Where do we want the commercial? And balancing that out. So I think really looking at planning and zoning would be the best thing to help in that area.
Okay, thank you. Economic development growth has been on the rise at the county level. Can you explain what have you done or plan to do to help those in your district with obtaining some of these local jobs?
Well, I can tell you one of the things that I started was the Unsheltered or Homeless Job and Housing Initiative. And with that initiative, I was really at that point begin to focus on those that were unsheltered, those that were unemployed, underemployed. And what I did is really started working with our local shelter, getting those individuals over to Georgia Piedmont Technical College, where they can actually get the training that they need, the skills that they need, so that when these businesses are coming to Newton County, they are now in a position where they can take advantage of these jobs that are coming here that are higher wage paying jobs. And so I think if we really focus on, those individuals that are unsheltered, unemployed, underemployed, focus on getting them the skills, and even those that want to change from one job skill to another job skill, working with our technical college, getting them the training that they need to actually help position them to be able to take advantage of these opportunities so that we can have a great workforce in Newton County.
Thank you. Our last question is, what are the challenges facing District 2 that must be addressed in the next 4 years?
I would say one of the major challenges right now is really looking at how we want to develop District 2. What do we want District 2 to look like? Do we want walkable communities? Do we want more recreation? Do we want more retail? So really sitting down and solidifying what we want, I think has kind of been one of the major things that we've got to address. Even when it comes to traffic, we've got to address that as well, which, we're moving in that direction when it comes to the widening of Salem Road, really looking at infrastructure. We have bridges now that are actually being repaired off of Bethany Road, looking at the expansion of Brown Bridge. So that traffic issue has also been another major issue. Even the waste around the county or around the district has been a major issue, which is why I started the Newton Cleanup Project, where every single month we go out and we help our public works department by volunteering to clean up the roadways. So there's a few different things in District 2 that we have got to address that are concerns. But as the current District 2 commissioner, I work very diligently to help address all those concerns, to come up with solutions to make sure that it's a great place to live, work, and to play.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for answering all the top questions that were submitted by our citizens. At this time, can you close us out with any further information you would like the voters to know about yourself, your campaign, and how they can get in touch with you?
Sure. Well, I would love the voters to know that I am a leader that acts with professionalism, that acts with integrity, and that acts with visibility. I am a leader that is not just making decisions for District 2 or for Newton County, but I am one that's actively involved with creative ideas, innovation with our youth, with our seniors, with our unsheltered, with our 501c3s, with our small business. I'm actively involved in every single aspect of our community. And the way that people can get in contact with me, they can actually go to my website at demondmason, 4, commissioner.com. That's DEMONDMASON, 4, commissioner.com. They can reach me there. They can also call me at 470-322-5764. They can also reach me on Instagram. They can reach me on Facebook, LinkedIn. They can reach out to me there as well, and I'll be more than happy to assist them in whatever capacity that I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.